thrilling episode of Fast Charging with BnB. It is episode 50. What are we doing? I'm Brian.
And I'm Bear.
And yeah, we're doing the thing,
The
which
thing.
is exciting.
Yeah, I'm not sure my crap actually worked again. Ah,
Well, it's one way to find out.
yeah. Can anybody see me?
I can, but that's a problem I'm working through.
Yeah, maybe you should get blinders on. Oh, okay. My comment screen just showed up. That's how I look for like confirmation that it actually worked.
Super duper. Super
Jeez,
duper.
Louise. JJ thinks
Anything
I'm
going on?
keeping secrets about hydrogen hubs.
I think you are.
I mean, I have a secret stash of gas, but I wouldn't consider it a hub. So
And it's all natural.
yes.
Hey, speaking of super crazy, goofy stuff, did you know Canoe is still alive?
Yeah, that is incredible, isn't it? They've really pulled themselves out of whatever debacle they got themselves in, and they got a new order for over 5,000 EVs from Ziva, and everybody knows what Ziva is, right?
Ziva, of course, the fleet management system that rents out trucks to people who need trucks.
Yes, yeah. So and over 3,000 of those are binding orders. So that is real. That is
I don't
no
know
one
what
can
that means. I
binding.
mean, well, how binding is binding?
You've never worn binders.
No, no.
Well, when you do, it keeps you. It's something that keeps you.
So I got to see the Canoe in San Diego at Fully Charged, and it was pretty awesome. It was a very cool design. Uh, it wasn't there. I don't know how it was there. I don't know what capacity. There was no booth. It was just there, and one or more of the windows was rolled down so you could jam your arm in with a camera. And I love the shape of it as far as the interior goes. So hopefully they'll survive.
Well, it looks either like a pill or a Toyota. Was it Previa, or is that what it was? That minivan?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so let me ask you a question about this since you saw it live and in person. How does this size compare to, let's say, a regular minivan?
Fine. It's comparable. It might be a hair bigger, but I would say it's the same size as my minivan. Uh,
And what kind of minivan do you have?
Nissan Quest.
Okay.
Yeah, comparable. And but mine does not look like a suppository.
Well, if you try hard enough, anything can be a suppository.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you pay extra for one with rounded edges, so
I,
that's kind of nice.
I thought you paid extra for the ribbed ones.
Ribbed suppository. Oh, bear.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah, it's not my thing. But
must be a Scottsdale thing. I
oh no, I'm not a Scottsdale guy. But things that talking about things that are not suppositories, because this would be much too big. There was a prototype of a Chevy Silverado EV at a fast charging station, at an E station. So they were probably able to capture it there because it was probably stuck there for 4 hours because the charging station wouldn't work, more than likely. That's how this
yeah, that's how you
photo
get the
op
best
came.
scoop
Yeah,
on new vehicles is while they're sitting there screaming at customer support.
yeah. I was at an EA charging station and there was like three Chevy Bolt EUVs, all with like tons of equipment on the top. Just and I don't even remember who they were working for, but it just seemed like probably underpaid people, but they were hardly working. Just they were all charging up at the same time. They were all new EVs because they had temporary plates on them, and they were just getting charged up at the EA station. And some of them were getting out of there faster than others for some strange reason.
Hmm.
Like
It
some of the stations sucked. But anyway, let's talk about the
the
Silverado.
the design looks fine. Um, you know, looks like a new car, minus the Bondo, of course.
Yeah, I like the new design. Not necessarily this picture because they've got a lot of things blacked out, like the tail lights are covered and the dull paint. But the pictures that they've put out there, I do like the way it looks, especially the blue. And I've got mine on order for sometime before I die, I hope. But it's
Yeah.
I think it's a very decent design, and it's also all new and original, meaning that they didn't take this off of the previous Silverado platform so that it will be optimized to actually work better than, let's say, an F-150, where they used a lot of the same things from the previous one.
Sure. Jeff is pointing out, not very aerodynamic.
No,
I
it's
would agree
not.
with that.
Yeah, I would
I
agree
would
with
agree
that
with
too.
They put too much effort on the styling over the actual function.
Well,
But
there is a part of that that is still important on an EV because it makes it easier for non-EV owners to digest because it looks like a traditional vehicle.
right, it's part of the transition.
Yeah,
Make this second generation a little bit slipperier once people are accustomed to the whole idea in the first place. I think that's a good point.
yeah. They do have to do something about the door handles, though. You can't have door handles like that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
No,
absolutely not.
no, those are very out of date. William says, looks like a brick.
No, a Jeep looks like a brick.
A Jeep looks like a brick.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this looks like a brick. I think this is a decent design. But hey, that's my opinion.
It's not quite a truck. It's not quite an SUV. You know, there's one shape that we don't get in the U.S. very much. You know what shape that is? A Ute.
A Ute. I was going to say, I thought we were going back to the canoe.
No, we don't have many minivans. I think the Toyota Sienna is discontinued. I think the Chrysler Pacifica is or maybe the Honda
No,
Odyssey is still standing, but there's not
no,
many.
the Odyssey's still standing. The Sienna is still standing. Um,
No, is it?
yes, it is. And then there's a Kia Sedona and the Chrysler Pacifica. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of on a minivan kick. So I've been looking at several different minivans, and Odyssey and the Sienna were both on my list, but they are about $10,000 more for a comparable Pacifica. So
Wow.
just
Electric Utes are finally being shipped to Australia. They're about to boom in popularity, report predicts.
I love the way they start off with a picture of an F-150.
Right, which is confusing because that's a truck.
Yeah. Well,
So maybe they're conflating the two.
what does Ute
Oh,
stand for?
hmm. Utility, I assume.
I don't know. Uh, they are pretty cute. Like the one that they have here, which was obviously a drawing, uh, but it's a Chinese-made Ute, and I think it looks pretty good actually,
Yeah, looks
uh,
fine.
except for that bed, but it appears to be cut off. I don't know how big that bed is. I know that they don't have high expectations on the bed for the Utes, but that looks really small.
Yeah. Maybe they should use a picture of the truckla. Do you know that one? Simone Gertz went ahead and chopped up her Model 3 into a pickup truck about 2 years ago. It's very funny.
Hmm. I think it would have been better to maybe do that on Photoshop than in real life.
Oh, it's an abomination. You would hate it. It wasn't meant to be. Yeah,
All right.
utility vehicle is what Andrew is telling us in the chat.
Okay. And by the way, this is expected to cost about $20,000 more than an ICE equivalent, which is
That's a
going
lot.
to be a hard sell. That is,
Right. Because it's still a Chinese truck.
yeah, which
Yeah.
means it probably still has lead paint in it.
Yeah, but it's delicious. Have you tried it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Can't you tell that I
Uh,
eat my fair share of lead?
yes, Tommy.
I, I'm having paint chips for dinner,
Well, they're very tasty.
and I'm going to get to dinner very fast. How am I going to get there very fast?
I think you're going to get there in 1.416 seconds. 0 to 100 kilometers in 1.4 seconds.
That is
Wow.
that is very impressive. But this is actually a pretty tiny little machine, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
oh wow, it's a lot smaller than I realized.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Yes, it's cute. I want to. Well, forget. I'm not going to say that. I was thinking about Step Brothers. Um,
Oh my God. I just realized which part of Step Brothers.
yeah, yeah. Okay, you got it. Good. Let's see if
So
anybody else gets that.
I hope not. She's a very funny actress. So yeah, this is more of a go-kart. I bet if I got in that car, it would not do it in 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, they definitely picked the smallest person in their little student team. Oh, did you see the picture of them standing next to it?
Yeah,
That makes it even look even smaller. Okay, yeah, that
no,
is
it makes it look the size it is.
yeah that is a go kart.
That is a go-kart.
But nonetheless, it's still impressive. Did they have any quarter mile speeds in this?
It might just be geared to that speed.
Yeah, um, that's very possible. Just wondering how much faster could it have gone, or if it can actually do the quarter mile, because that's 0 to 60 in that amount of seconds. That's got to be a very short
Right. You
distance.
can do that in your driveway practically,
I probably could.
depending on which jockey you use.
Yes, yes. And by the way, if you got into it, it wouldn't do that speed. If I got into it, I think it would be sitting onto the ground, and I don't
Well, I
think
don't know where you'd put your
I would have to.
body,
I would have to
your
remove
entire
my
body.
legs.
Yeah.
Go
But yeah,
gadget
this car
legs.
really flies.
Ah, nice, nice. I see what you did there. Speaking of flying, there is now a drone that can hold a person, and while
Is this one of them?
this is one of them, uh,
Is it though?
I don't know. We're not sure if the video that they have here is CGI or not. Of course, they have to start with some paratroopers because it looks like a scale model to me. So,
It does.
but when you see those people standing there, it doesn't. But that could be camera tricks. And then they've got a picture of the inside with nobody. So nobody's in this yet. That's gonna. I think the first person who gets in it for a flight is gonna have to be that guy who does eat the paint chips.
Right.
And it's probably worthy if something bad happens. But that could be a drone looking at another drone, like really close, making it look like it's
That's what
big.
it feels like. Yeah, I don't know if it's a scale model, but I do know that if you're looking to meet an untimely demise, a flying car is a good way to do it.
Definitely.
I
No,
love this render down below.
that's awesome looking. Straight out of Tron, right?
Yeah, it's or Westworld.
Yeah, I need to start that last season. Thanks for reminding me. Things to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, um,
It's a
um,
very rare season. You'll be among the very few who have seen it.
okay.
The ratings were abysmal.
Yeah, well, I really have to concentrate when I watch that show because it's very hard to figure out what the hell's going on. It has
Yeah,
been for all the seasons, actually.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, back to our flying car. It's only a mere $156,600.
Oh, what a bargain.
Yes, I put that on my list next to my Sapphire.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, you should put it on the list next to the Pontiac Sunfire. Is what you should do. Yeah, put this in your Turo fleet. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I could see the first 5 minutes of it not going well. Uh,
No.
wait a minute. Wait a second. The render has two propellers.
Yeah, yeah.
The one that they're showing in this video has four.
Right. The one in the render also has wheels.
Yes, it does. So, wait a minute. How could it be a car if it doesn't have wheels?
Oh,
How
yeah.
is this
That's
a
not a
flying?
car, is it?
Yeah, that is not a car.
Even
Uh,
planes have wheels.
yeah, that.
Mm.
Okay. I think we've been duped.
I think we've spent too much time on this.
But I'm not done. Okay, yeah, I am. Some guy at Business Insider wrote a nice little article about trying out the Tesla Model Y and the Kia EV6,
Mhm.
and drove it around. He drove them both around for a bit, and made a decision on which one he liked better. And what did he pick?
Well, which one's cheaper? The Kia at 41,000 is less dollars than the Model Y. Did you know that?
Um, yeah, I heard somewhere about that. Uh, but here's the thing: that $41,000 Kia EV6 is ill-equipped.
The
Uh,
base, the
yeah,
base
it's
base.
base. And while the $66,000 Model Y is also base, there ain't much you can add to it. All right, you could change the color of your seats, put a tow hitch on, change your wheels. That's about it. I mean FSD, of course. So he does mention in the article it's kind of fair that for another 10 grand you can get the EV6 more equipped to be similar to the Model Y. Though if the Kia uh, autopilot is anything like the Hyundai autopilot, and I imagine they're very similar, that is one big miss, is that the EV6 has no autopilot that 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 is trustworthy enough for me to drive. Model Y does. I'm not going to go into me sleeping in my Model Y or anything like that while driving. It wasn't on purpose. But the Hyundai is, as I've said before, it makes you pay more attention to the road when you've got their autopilot on, because it will go off the road constantly. But I love the styling of the EV6. I think it's a great looking car, and even that picture there is not very flattering of it. But I know it was fast. I drove a GT one, and it had very good acceleration. I don't know how the numbers compare to the Model Y, because the Model Y is fast also, and the Model Y is going to get you more range. But
Yeah.
the EV6 has more bells and whistles and more things to figure out. It's got a cooler
Was the
cockpit.
deciding factor. If you look
Hmm.
at the second to last paragraph, I'd pick the Kia because it was fun to drive, charged super quickly, offered almost as much range with more analog knobs.
Yes, he wants his knobs.
What's his knobs?
Well, everybody
His
likes
knobs.
two knobs, couple knobs, right?
Hmm. And can you run a toaster from your Tesla? Don't
No,
advise it.
no, and that is actually something that I really wish Tesla would step up on, because I remember years ago somebody tweeted that to Elon Musk, and he said, "Yeah, we're going to do it," and it's never happened.
Yeah, well, we got dog mode. MD Hofsey did point out that the author is a knobhead, so that would make sense.
He's a knobhead.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know, man. For $17,000 more, it is a big step between the two.
Mhm.
I'm surprised Kia isn't moving more units more aggressively. Maybe
I-
it's the low margin that
It's
keeps them from.
it's production,
Is
because
it?
it's production, because every Kia EV6 is pre-sold before it gets there. Anyone that makes it there, they're still putting 5 to 10 grand markup on it. And if you want to get me going on that, I could go on, but I'm not going to. But yeah, they're still putting markups on these cars of 5 to 10 grand. So and they're selling them. They're just ripping people new buttholes by stealing
That's
money from them.
that's
So
unfortunate.
it is.
That's unfortunate. Uh, so what are the electric cars you're most looking forward to in 2023, Brian Cooley?
Are we there? Are we there? We're there.
Aren't we?
Um, okay, maybe. Yeah, I think I got my 5 minute thing in the wrong spot. That happens. So Brian Cooley, he brought up a decent list. Um, he's got the Cadillac Lyric, which I think they produced 300 of them last quarter. So
Yeah, and
don't
I've
be.
never seen one yet.
I've never seen one yet either, so I don't think you should look too hard for. Don't look too hard for it in 2023, because you're not going to see a lot of them, because
Sure.
that is surely due to production, because they have a back order on that. Mopar Den just mentioned that the hybrid Sienna LE sticker price is 39,279. Uh,
39,279.
I don't know where he actually was able to find that at, but that's not what I've seen. Be,
Yeah.
plus the
Well,
fact,
that might be the base model, and it may be that they're not shipping any of the base model.
yeah, it's also hybrid, and the hybrids are going to grab a little bit more. But I also know that right now with Toyota, I have been in a Toyota dealership asking about a hybrid, and they are tacking on 5 to 10 grand on all their hybrids too, because they're jerks.
Yeah. It was pointed out on the cost difference between the EV6 and the Model Y is that in January, the Model Y will be getting the rebate, and the Kia might not get as much.
It's not going to get any of it.
Not going to get any because it's not made in the U.S. and it's not using any U.S. parts.
Right. So, and that could change in 2024 when Kia starts making these cars here, which
Yeah.
is their plan,
Yeah.
which will be when I might be back looking for one. So,
So the Lyric looks nice. I'm looking forward to that. Chevy Blazer and Equinox. Sure.
um,
Is it the same car with a different skin?
one's a little smaller than the other. Um, and
Oh, I meant as the same as the Lyric.
oh, very, very possible, which makes
Yeah,
it,
it's the same platform, I'm sure.
yeah, that's got to be. I mean, the Equinox is a little bit smaller than the Blazer, I think. And I've got two of the Blazers on order, so I'm looking forward to both of these cars, and I will order an Equinox if I can get one for $30,000, because that more than likely will also have a large rebate to go with it, bringing that car down to well below Chevy Bolt prices. And I'd rather have a Equinox than a Bolt. And I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the inside. They're very nice. Very
I haven't.
nice. Yeah. Very nice. Very well done. I mean, it's not minimalistic, but it looks good. That doesn't mean that they put all the buttons where they should go. You know, sometimes these car manufacturers want to put like the volume button behind the front seat or something, stupid crap like that. But that's just a Hyundai.
So then we've got the Silverado.
Yes, which I've also got on order. I already mentioned that. I'm just going to keep saying.
This looks like a render, and I honestly think it looks better in real life.
This is a render. I've seen you could tell just by that paint.
Yeah.
That's definitely a render. And I believe so is the next one, which is the GMC Hummer, which I have one of those on order. And I think that'll be a fun big vehicle. And I think it looks good. I've seen them on the road, and they are decent looking. And hey, you know what? They're not polluting the world.
Yeah. And then we've got the Hummer. I guess
I
we're just doing GM, I guess, huh?
that's what I was talking about was the Hummer.
Pretty heavy.
I
Pretty
was
heavy.
I was talking about the Hummer.
Yeah, pretty heavy. And then the Cybertruck.
Yeah, you got one on order.
I don't.
You
I
should.
don't.
You should just cause.
Yeah. I considered the reason I didn't get an order in early was because I figured it would be like the Model Y where they took the reservations out of order and that the backlog would be quickly satisfied. I did not understand that it would be as many years as it was.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Cybertruck, pretty interesting. We'll
yeah.
wait to see.
I did not get in on the early orders. I didn't order until I think February of 21. So I still have a long wait. And
Yeah,
then we have the BMW i5.
I
And
guess.
yeah, I don't know why you'd be that excited looking forward to that. But hey, everyone's got
Yeah.
their own opinion. There hasn't been that much buzz about it. Those previous cars, there was buzz about them.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we have the Dodge Hornet, which I thought was supposed to be a hybrid.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It boy, I'm just not excited about a lot of Dodge products.
Yeah, the thing that Dodge had is speed. The look of the Challengers were great. They don't look as good when you stick another car into the side of it. But besides that, I always like the look of the Challenger.
I
Um,
like the look of the uh, what is the wagon called?
That old wagon, they don't make them anymore. The Magnum.
I like that. I thought it
Oh,
was cool.
I thought that was cool too. And then they had a decent sized motor for the time in it. I thought that was kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of like,
Drive the
right?
RT8 version
Yeah.
of the Magnum. I briefly had a job reviewing cars, and that was the one they dropped off for us. And the wife and kids hop in the car, and my oldest son is looking out the window, looking at. I'm like, "What are you looking for?" He goes, "I hear thunder." I'm like, oh, that's that's adorable. That's the car, honey.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, this Hornet is not very inspiring at all, especially because it's. I don't believe that it's an EV. Yeah, someone can look that up. Uh, uh, so I'm just going to go past that. The Ioniq 6. I imagine. I think that's going to look a lot like the inside of the 5 from the photos that I saw. If they could fix their cluster of the interior and uh, just make that a little bit better, and maybe some of the things less stupid, like having to turn on one pedal driving every time you get in the car, things like that. I would be more interested in that car. That car had some decent specs on it. It's kind of weird looking, kind of from the side looks like the EQS, which nobody is really a fan of.
I do like the caption under this red picture of a red car. Oof, not sure they nailed it in the styling department.
Yeah,
That's an understatement.
absolutely. And
Pretty ugly bar of soap right there.
yeah, that's not the best look for the car. So hopefully they can do something a little bit better. Though from the back it looks like a Porsche. From the side, it looks like the Mercedes. From the front, I don't know. I think it looks like a Dodge Neon. No, I
That
don't. I don't think it's that bad.
picture from here reminds me of the old Ultima.
Yeah, a little bit.
Then we've got the EV9 at a skate park, it looks like.
Yes, yes. It's getting its game on right there.
Mhm.
Um, I will be interested to see this just without the. I've only seen renders and camouflage, and it's hard to see what it looks like. Plus, I don't think the specs are out for this thing yet,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be expensive.
Did you see the camouflage they put on the Tesla Model Y when they were testing it in Germany?
I thought it was some sort of joke, and it said like this is a Model Y or something.
It said not a Y.
Oh, not a Y. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Because that, convinced me.
I
Genesis.
never saw it. I thought it was something else. I guess I got confused.
hmm
Must have worked.
Genesis electrified GV60 and 70. Does that mean they're just jamming batteries under the hood of a ICE car?
I don't know. I would assume that they'd use the same platform that they use on the Kia and the Hyundais.
Uh, yeah, I would think so. I hope that's the case, and that the word electrified is just being kind of used to sound cool.
Misappropriated.
hmm Volvo SUV.
Yeah, that's not a Volvo SUV.
No, it's not pictured. That's the Mazda MX-30.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that gets 100 miles of range?
Th- I believe that to be true, and that is not inspiring.
And he's looking forward to it. I think we've gotten. I think we've gotten into the how many words is this article supposed to be? Part of the article. Oh, I forgot to do my homework. If you're putting that on the list, I think we're done with that list.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some things that could have gone on here. Go down a little bit though, and there is the Polestar 3 and 4.
The Polestar 3 and 4 are below the Volvo, which isn't pictured, and
Well,
the MX-30.
well,
Very good.
maybe this is not in any particular order, but the Polestar 3 is actually being unveiled tomorrow.
Nice.
Pricing,
And
pricing and stuff.
I would agree with Jeff in the comments. I think it is in an order. I think it's in the order GM requested.
No,
That's not a thing that happens.
no, that would never, never, never happen.
We're halfway through our time, and we are on article like 5 here.
Yeah, you really need to step it up.
Yeah. Do you know there's a giant super tanker that uses 9.8% less fuel, thanks to 130-foot sails?
Yeah, I heard about that. Um, and the picture is cool, but they just look like smokestacks. Do you think they're lying and they just have more engines?
They're extra smokestacks. And
Yeah.
it's interesting. Did you know that you could power a ship with just the wind?
I had a dream. Christopher Columbus told me that he got here using a ship that ran off the wind. And I'm like,
Well, he'd be lying
I
to you
said to him,
because
you had wind turbines back then?
Mhm.
And he just looked at me like I was stupid. So,
Yeah, well, they sailed so much that they used up the wind, and it took centuries to get back to where we are. Yeah, Christopher Columbus lied to you. He did not come here. He certainly didn't go to Arizona. He did what I call a bear's workshop, and he went on a cruise to the Caribbean.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Don't ruin
In
my
fact,
dream.
you've been to Santo Domingo, which is where he landed.
Yeah. Was I in I don't. I was in the DR, but I don't know if I was in San. Was I? Yeah, I might have. I
I
don't
think that's
remember. I don't remember a report I've been in this year. Sorry.
the big stop in DR.
Yeah.
So that'd be great, if they're not too expensive. 9.8% on every fill up is going to save you some money.
Okay. So my question for you is, they only have four on this giant super tanker. Why not add more?
Maybe
And
they will.
these are very small. These don't
Uh,
seem like they would. It looks to me.
no, they're not as small as you think. They're rigid in design, so they're very expensive. And making them bigger would require, the the structural supports get a bit out of hand as you scale in size. Uh, but it could be, yeah, I could see them absolutely doing two or three or two or four more. Be interesting to see. Hopefully this catches on,
I would put like 30 more on there.
because that's a great way to move huge amounts of oil
Yes.
across the ocean.
Yes. And you had mentioned when we were briefly looking at this picture, when I was mocking it earlier, before everyone was joining us, that those sails are retractable.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically they're retractable so that they can still clear bridges and whatnot. These look to be in three segments.
Do
Very
they?
interesting.
Okay, let me.
The top picture, I can see what looks like brakes in it. Yeah, they look like they telescope.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also turn.
I'm going to make a quick adjustment on this and see if I can. I'm getting complaints about the audio because my audio is not quite synced because I'm using the camera instead of the webcam. So I'm going to do this and see if it fixes it without creating an echo.
Echo, echo, echo. Is it still there? Is it still
That
there?
would incur it if it did. So we'll find out. Let's see. Did you know that renewables met 100% of the rise in global electricity demand in the first half of 2022?
I think that's pretty cool. My only question is, how do they measure that? Who does that?
New production versus consumption? I mean,
Is it that simple?
it's got to be. It's got to be. So, I think that's, yeah. This is a good first step. I wish we had done this 25 years ago. I remember with the when they were announcing different carbon targets, they said, "Oh, we hope to get to in 10 years to get to neutral." And it's like, no. In 10 years, we should be getting to, back to 1980s levels of. So no. We want to get to 2004 levels. 2004 levels were really bad. So anyway, that's helpful. It's a good step in the right direction,
Yes.
and it's
Go ahead.
cost effective.
Yeah. You know, the place that I go down to in Mexico, they have two giant wind turbines. and I have never seen them turn.
Oh my!
Yeah, they had the first one up for years, never saw it move, and then they put up a second one. It has still never moved.
Wow.
But
Well, they should put up a
that's
third one that
Mexico.
doesn't move.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
to expand.
So
The nameplate capacity remains unchanged.
yeah, one day they'll just turn them on. Never know what will happen. But someone who is turning on power is the people in Hawaii. They've gotten rid of their last coal plant, and they have the Tesla megapacks arrive in Hawaii, and I believe that they were shutting down their last coal plant with this, right?
I think that's the final shipment of coal has arrived. There will not be any more coal.
Did it come on a wind-powered boat?
I'm going to tell you right now, it probably did not.
Probably did not. Okay. But it's turned off.
It's turned off.
And now they can redo that whole coal-fired plant and make it into like a paintball place. That's what they should do with it. That'd be fun.
Yeah. PG&E and Boeing once built one so large that it destroyed its own bearings when it ran. Oh, just so they could prove that it wasn't viable. That sounds like something they would do.
Built
the retired.
Built a what so big?
Oh, a windmill.
A windmill. Okay.
Jeff sharing in the comments in the chat. The retired coal plant was the largest greenhouse gas emitter in the state of Hawaii and was alone responsible for 1.5 million metric tons of carbon dioxide annually.
Was it?
And honestly, that seems low to me because
I thought it was the only coal power plant.
It was the last coal plant.
That's what I thought. They only had one left, and this project was supposed to replace it.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why when you look at it and you say it's not that big, but they call it the largest, it was because it was the only.
Well, yes. It may have been the largest even when the others were running. Yeah, wise ass.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Do you know Honda's got a new $4.5 billion EV battery plant that's going to be built in Tokyo?
Oh, and they got a partner with LG.
Mm-hmm. You partner with LG. How's that worked out?
If I had a choice of anything, I would not go with them. Let's just put it that. I have my LG battery for my home, for my solar panels, after almost, I don't know, a year and a half of being on a recall, was delivered today. And it's a 400-pound behemoth. Oddly enough, you know what it was waiting on? They couldn't ship it out because it requires a special box to send back in that has to be somewhat fireproof. So I've got this box. It's sitting in my driveway right now. It's like a steel box on top, sitting on top of the battery, and it has to be shipped back in that box per federal regulations, because if the battery catches on fire, this is to protect everything else in there, which is odd because if it catches on fire in my house, what's going to protect it? Well,
that's a you problem.
Yeah, that's a me problem. It seems like if that box is to protect from fire, shouldn't my batteries be in there in the first place? Because we're putting this in my house. But who am I to think? But that's an LG battery, year and a half to get that done. So my battery has not been working, they say, only since May. And they're going to give me $50 a month for every month that it was down. The bottom blew out of it from the heat, and it popped the entire thing out from the bottom.
How do you feel about $50 a month for that? Is that reasonable?
I thought they were going to give me $50 a month since they announced the recall. But no, I don't find that reasonable because my electric bill probably over the summer was about $300 higher than it was last summer. And that's with solar panels. Speaking of which, I just found out while looking into this that one of my inverters is down also. And a reason to go with Tesla solar panels, in my mind, even though it's going to cost more. If you don't have it, it would cost me a lot more if I went there now, because I do have it. If I have a problem with my Tesla solar panel, I have a feeling I can make a phone call or two and get and speak to somebody. The people who installed my solar panels who do the warranty for these inverters, I've called 10 times. The phone's never picked up. And supposedly they're still in business. And there's no way to get in touch with them. Once they make you the sale, they're done. They're done with you. They've moved on. Their company was bought out by another company. That company just doesn't even pick up the phone. It's not even like they're ignoring me because I'm a warranty issue. They're not picking up their phone. I have a feeling if I had a problem with like a power wall, there'd be somebody to talk to with Tesla.
I don't know. Maybe in the comments someone can tell us if they have a power wall, if they've ever been able to reach someone.
No,
Tesla's
you know what they're
pretty
going to
famous.
say? You know what they're going to say? I haven't had a problem.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one time I at a job, the HR asked me to sign. Oh yeah, you should sign up for the insurance. We've got, a real one or an HMO. And I said, which one's better? She goes, I think the HMO. I said, do you ever use it? She goes, no. Well, you don't know, do you? So, oh, good times. We are doing just fantastic on time. Do you know that GM's going into the energy business?
Yeah, so that's a thing now, huh?
Yeah. There's gold in them Nar Hills.
Well, there is. The question is, are they going to be able to manage this?
Well, they are the merry leaders of the industry, so I would be very surprised if they can't.
I would be very surprised if they can. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
uh, they haven't shown the ability yet to handle the first part of the energy, which is create the batteries and create the cars that go along with it. Um, there's there are a few things that I like what they did. Getting rid of those Cadillac dealerships that wouldn't get on board with the EVs. I thought that was a good move. It's also good. It's also going to be a move in the direction of going to straight online ordering, and which I hope is in our future.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is a big undertaking. It is possible that all the car manufacturers could head in this direction. Obviously, Tesla's definitely going there. They've really got something going on. Lucid has said that they want to, or Nikola believes that they want to, and other manufacturers want to. They are selling energy storage devices at this point.
Yeah. And this is keeping them in the news cycle too. You notice we spend so much more time talking about the companies that are actually doing these kinds of things as opposed to the ones who are just kind of sitting back. It will be interesting to see how it goes.
Dodge.
Yeah. And Dodge is literally who I was thinking of.
Well,
Do you know that most electric car buyers don't want to switch back to gas?
once you get rid of gas, it's makes you feel a lot better. Oh, look at the little thing. It's got a heart on it. How
I
cute.
just noticed that too.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
going to fit in anything.
No, but
But
it might fit in a Subaru. Isn't that what makes a Subaru a Subaru?
yeah, I definitely don't want to buy their cars after watching those commercials.
No.
They,
Well, let's just say I don't think you are their demographic.
I'm not their demographic. I'm not sure who is, but just saying, a car that
David Huber pointed out gas cars seem kind of stupid now.
if any of you guys have ever torn apart an engine, like a real car engine, like a V8, and seen all the parts in it and all the things that have to work at the same time in synchrony to get everything working right, it actually is amazing. It's an amazing feat that 100 years ago somebody said this is what we need to do to get this to work, with valves opening at the same time and rockers moving the valves. There is just so many things going on at once. I am amazed that they can run 100,000 miles because they are actually very complex machineries.
Yeah.
And
And they move really fast in there.
yeah, and it is a controlled explosion, and it is amazing that it stays together. Though
Yeah.
oftentimes they don't, and, and that is obviously a problem. And they are dirty and they are stanky, and having to fix things and replace a sensor that's the engineers have put on the firewall. That there's no possible way to get at a $10 sensor, so it costs you $2,000 because they have to do so much work to get to it. They're very complex, and it's very impressive when you look at it. And it's amazing how simple the electric engines are, or electric motors are. I know there's a lot that goes into putting them together now and getting them precise, but they seem to have a much longer life cycle than what in a gas motor, and it does seem stupid.
Feel more like a chemistry problem where where internal combustion feels like an engineering, a physical machining problem.
Yeah.
It's pretty. We're ready. I'm ready for the transition, in part because I still have a dyno burner because I can't fit in a different car. They don't make electrics my size unless they're $100,000.
So, but why don't you tell me about this? EV lovers, they love them. They don't. Once you go black, you never go back, or something.
Yep, that's what my wife has unfortunately assured me of. So it's cutting real deep there.
Sorry, I didn't know.
it's just a loyalty thing, you know. You've had the experience. They're quick, they're quiet, they're technological wonders. I think I think we can move past it.
Yeah, we can, and I'm just.
But they charge too slow. You keep talking. I got to go grab something to drink.
Okay. My problems with the EVs right now are still the fact that we cannot tow, and it takes too long to charge. I think those are the two major hurdles, and once we get over that, I don't think price is a major hurdle right now. I think supply is. Because supply is what's driving up the price right now. But once we get past the towing and the speed of charging, Brian will have his drink. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yes, it is electric themed Mountain Dew Spark.
Ooh.
With 0 sugar and a taste I can only describe as yes. It's terrible.
Yes, it's terrible. What color is it?
It's awful. It's awful.
It's not that green, regular lime green stuff?
Well, it was a new flavor. I figured I'd try it. How bad could it be? Not very good.
Yeah.
Electric vehicles charge in 5 minutes.
Okay, I think we've had the same headline like 6 times now. But this one...
way more.
Yeah. This one could be real. Because this isn't like some startup saying that we're going to do this, or we want to do this. This is NASA saying we have a cooling method to keep these things, to keep the batteries cool while they're being charged super fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. But you have to charge in space. I don't know. I'll believe these when they happen. It'd be great. You could get a full charge in 5 minutes. Also, you'd need a mega charger. You'd need
you
1.5.
wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Here's the thing, because like last night I was at a 250 kilowatt charger. You start off, it's 1,000 miles per hour. Or you're starting at 1,000 miles per hour. Why does it slow down? Because it can't go that fast because of the cooling. So 1,000 miles per hour what does that give you? What is okay? So what is that? 250 miles in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so that'd be 15 minutes. So you need 750 kilowatt charger. Still,
maybe
you could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd still be cheaper than putting in gas pumps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because those are surprisingly expensive. Because
do you think California has stopped letting people get permits and build new gas stations?
I think they might have made it prohibitively difficult.
Well,
I don't know.
They've already done that with everything that they don't like,
including rooftop solar.
Well,
for real.
Sometimes they go a little overboard and shoot themselves in the foot.
I don't think that was their foot.
Stepped on their
Uh-huh.
own foot.
On
Yeah,
their own foot.
on their
Hmm.
own foot.
Speaking of stepping on your own foot,
Yep. Segue right there. Bam!
Rivian forgot the first rule of assembly,
Tight.
righty-tighty.
Righty tighty. Fasten everything.
Uh-huh. Not a big deal. 12,000 units recalled.
Wait a minute.
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal.
Or let me just read this to you. The fastener connects the vehicle's front upper control arm and the steering knuckle. And there have been 2 reports of the fastener coming loose, according to documents filed by NHTSA. And if it's not fastened, what happens? Oh, you just lose control
You just tighten it.
while you're driving.
Yeah, while you're driving.
Just tighten the wheel.
But there's no reports of injuries. No, I just mean that while this is an issue that absolutely needs to be fixed, this isn't like a gotcha moment. Oh, Rivian's doomed because of this.
Right. A serious recall is like the Toyota pitchfork thing, or what butt forks, or whatever you called it, where it just randomly shuts off. Obviously not good. Cars that start on fire, obviously not good. So things like that. And we're still waiting to. I haven't heard anything about the Lucid fire that was we talked about last week. But there was another Lucid that caught fire on a car hauler. I heard that it was not
Car
from.
hauler.
This was a couple months ago. I heard that it was not the car's fault, but who can say for sure?
Okay.
That is something that can justify a recall if it was something of the car's fault.
For sure.
I think-
Rivian says it's on pace to meet its 2022 goals after production grew 67% in the third quarter.
Say it.
They're going to meet their steeply revised production goal.
Still, I think 25,000 is pretty good for their first year.
Yeah, I am pleased with that.
Yeah. And because I know Lucid's not going to do that, but I think they're now have got themselves on track to meet their steeply revised goal. So
Yeah. But the reviews are good. My concern with for Rivian is that people are able to buy them very easily. People can literally place an order and take delivery. There are a lot of YouTubers who late in the game decided, you know what, I want one, and they buy it and they get it, which tells me that
there's
their
not a lot
demand
of,
is very soft.
or it tells you that they're front loading those people because those people are paying more for them.
Oh, shit. Yep, maybe, because they did reduce the prices back down to 80,000 after the big hike that they announced.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't think they're making money at 80,000 because it is an over-engineered car. And I think they're going to have problems with that tonneau cover because Sandy Munro tore it apart. He didn't tear it apart. His team did. I think it was Jordan and another guy. It is fundamentally flawed. It's got problems that are not likely to be solved with a quick fix.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, Rivian is so far so good. That GM and Ford shares fell after UBS downgrades. Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, they downgraded on expectation for weakening demand. Well, I think the demand is there. It's just the production is not. I know that you can still go to a GM lot, like a Chevy lot, and a Ford lot, and you're not going to see that many new cars on there. Their electric vehicles are all selling right away. GM is selling a ton of Bolts, probably more than they've ever, and those are going to keep flying out the door. So I still think it's not a demand problem; it's a supply issue. It's a supply problem, and that's too bad for them, because they should go to those rookies over in Texas and find out how they ramp up so quickly.
Yeah. I pulled up the Ford stock. Over the last month, it's down 25%. GM is down 23% over the past month. But for that matter, Tesla's down 28%. Nikola's down 44%. So
What? Can you shut up?
no,
You're just like naming off the things in my portfolio and just like
it
stabbing me
hurts.
in the heart with it.
It hurts.
It
It hurts.
hurts.
But it's everybody, and I think it's the market. I think the market got too hot.
Yeah.
You know, like that Lucid we were talking about.
Yes. And yeah, good. Name another one that went down and I own. Uh, Ford, I never thought was like the price that I bought it at. I did not think was out of control. I didn't think it was a crazy number. But yeah, Ford, Nikola, Lucid. Who else you want to throw at me?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them are down. I watch them every day, and I wipe the tears off my face and explain to my wife that we're not going to be living in a box in
I
two,
have
in
Arc
2 weeks.
K in my portfolio that I probably bought around 80 and it's at about 35 now. So I'm down about 44% on that,
You should just
which is
you should sell it now. When it gets down to 20, you could buy it back, and you'll feel better about yourself.
gambling.
Yeah.
Uh, Benzinga keeps changing the articles on me.
Not me. I'm good.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
you got something wrong with your Benzinga.
it's driving me crazy. I don't know what in the hell it's
So
doing.
S&P has upgraded Tesla to triple B from double B plus because of them improving production. I don't think they're taking a really good look at Tesla. I do think that uh, that's a pretty low evaluation when you consider all the other companies who are double A and triple A and where they are in life.
It was overdue for the ratings upgrade. I had Alexandra Mertz, who is also known as Tesla Boomer Mama, on the channel last month to discuss what in the heck has taken so long to get the ratings upgrade and help enlist recruits in her campaign to make sure the ratings agencies know that they're missing the boat on this. So S&P has done their upgrade. Moody's will surely follow suit shortly. It's ridiculous. They've got almost no debt. They've got tons of cash flow. They've got tons of cash. If they're not creditworthy, that's an indictment on the ratings agency, not Tesla.
Yeah. Who pays the rating agencies?
Do you know the answer to this? It's fun. So if I wish to buy bonds, I pay the ratings agency to give me the rating, but the company also pays the rating agency.
Yes.
So it's not and Tesla won't pay them, so they wouldn't get the upgrade. And
So
it's ridiculous. If I hired you to tell me what is a good investment and I found out that you were also getting paid by the other party, I'd be furious. I'd be through the roof, man. Because that is such a conflict of interest.
yeah, and I did ask you that question because I knew what the answer was, and it is a little disturbing. Because Tesla's not doesn't get good media attention because they don't buy advertising space, so the media has no interest in doing anything good for them except making big stories that promote their basically their investors, the people they advertise for. Uh, Moody's, S&P, what's the difference? Tesla doesn't want to pay them, so
Well,
why are they gonna move their rankings, their ratings?
because yeah, their credibility is on the line and they don't care. Jeff is suggesting maybe Tesla did ask them to rewrite it because Tesla might be looking to raise money to buy back some stock. It's a possible thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, they destroyed their own credibility during the '08 crisis, back when everything was rated AAA plus gold standard.
yes.
Anything,
Oops.
any last bit of information we wish to get out?
Yeah, there is, and I love this one. And Tesla works around law banning direct sales in New Mexico and is opening up a second showroom on tribal land. I think that's fantastic workaround. It's a big middle finger to New Mexico and their BS laws that they have protecting dealerships. I wonder if those laws are something that could be brought to the Supreme Court.
I don't know how they.
It doesn't seem constitutional.
It,
There's got to be something where your right to something is being denied.
yeah, but making laws that protect companies is very American.
It is, but I just think that besides these the workaround's great because I wonder if they even get to collect sales tax. Does New Mexico lose the sales tax on every sale?
No, no sales
No.
tax. All the licensing is still within the state.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know because I am across the bridge from a state that has no sales tax. What I was looking to do is see if they had an Amazon drop box on the other side of the bridge, and they don't. Because that would have been.
That's a good move. That could be a very good move. I know if you buy a car out of state, and then you come into the state, you have to pay the state sales taxes when you register the car, at least in Arizona. So I would imagine that if you bought a car on tribal land and then brought it over, they say, well, when you go to register, did you pay sales tax? Well,
Yeah.
no, I didn't because I'm a sneaky Pete. So, but I just love the fact that they're doing this. It really says a message like if you can try and stop us, but you're not going to. Some of the other places are going to be a little bit more difficult because obviously, there are limits to where the tribal land is going to be in many states. Arizona's plentiful. If we had that issue there, we could fix it right away. There's tribal land all over the place, but good for them. Good for them. There was another article, and we just talked about it, but I didn't really share about it. And I'm just going to tell people where to go for this. Drive Tesla Canada, a complete list of Tesla superchargers was unintentionally announced. So you might want to take a look at it just to see if you need to find anything. Because I happen to see some that were close to me and made me kind of go, yay. Because it's good to have more options.
Yeah. Very
And
fun.
at that moment, I said that it's now time to thank our Patreons.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can thank yours. I thank mine too much, and I'm afraid it might start, getting into their head and
You
making them.
think it's getting creepy or something?
Yeah. They're like, hey, we get it. We get it.
Yeah. Slow your roll, Brian. All right. Well, I'm thanking my Patreons because I don't give them much, but I appreciate what they give me. So I do want to say thanks to all you guys for helping support the channel and helping us do our flyovers. Brian, thank someone else.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
I
somebody.
do. I'll thank Jeff. He's here,
All
and he
right.
says you were welcome. Yeah. No, but for real, the Patreon thing is a big deal. The other day there was a goof on YouTube's part where they weren't monetizing anyone's videos for the entire day. And I happened to have a live stream on one channel and a video that did very well on the main channel, not monetized. So, yeah, it's, their YouTube is really good at being terrible. So I want to thank you, Bear, for hanging out with me because if it wasn't for this, what would I do with my time? Probably productive, but
You probably play Candy Crush.
that's right.
That's
I'd be on Zombie Tsunami all day.
Okay. That's your game. I didn't know what your game was, but you told me.
Yeah,
I don't know what Zombie Tsunami is, but it sounds like loads of fun. I love zombies and I love tsunamis.
Two great things lumped into a pile.
Two deadly things that will just crush you and destroy you.
Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. And yeah,
Yeah, he says yeah. All right, thank you everyone. It's been a blast. really has. I swear. I know we don't look all excited, but I've had
It
fun
was
talking with
great.
Brian again because he's a great guy to talk to, and I hope you guys